Hey everyone, it's Tim with Collect Jurassic, and we're back with another huge Mattel Jurassic World unboxing. Dino Escape, Camp Cretaceous, we have it all here on the table today. There are so many new releases coming out right now that it just makes sense to kind of unbox everything all at once. We're going to be looking at the new Wild Pack assortment, as well as the Scorpios Rex Danger Pack, Ocean Protector Mosasaurus, and of course the Extreme Damage Indominus Rex. So many cool figures coming out right now. It's just overwhelming, but I cannot wait to share these and get them out of the box. We'll do a ton of comparisons too. I mean, there's a lot of interesting repaints here, retools, and some other cool stuff like with the Scorpios Rex that I just can't wait to show everyone out there watching today. But let's go ahead and get started because we have a lot to cover. We're gonna start small. We're gonna go with the Wild Packs first. We have the full range here of the Wave 1 of Wild Packs. There is 4 figures in it. We're going to start with the Dracorex. Real quick about Wild Packs is these are actually just attack pack figures. They did rename the assortment this year, Wild Pack. They kind of rename the assortments every once in a while. So this year, that's what these are, Wild Packs. And this is Dracorex in my hand. You can see that the packaging is just a simple card back, but it looks awesome. We love that Dino Escape artwork. Mattel always does an awesome job with the artwork. On the back, you can see the other figures in the assortment, which of course we have here on the table too. And that's about it when it comes to the packaging. But I love that Dino Escape branding, and it looks great here on the attack pack figures too. Or sorry, Wild Pack. I'm already getting it wrong. One thing you notice here is that we have blue on the background for this Dino Escape pack, but for this one, which is Camp Cretaceous themed, we have Toro back there. So we've seen that across the board with the figures this year. Anything that's not, overtly for Camp Cretaceous gets more generic Jurassic World treatment. So that's what's happening here with Dracorex. Let's go ahead and open this figure up. Just take the package out. Here we go. And I do want to thank my good collecting buddy Eric for sending these to me. These Wild Packs still aren't out everywhere. So I did have to have him help me collect these and send them my way. So huge thanks, Eric, for sending me these. So grateful. Let's go ahead and take a look at Dracorex here. This figure is, we've seen a couple Dracorexes before, but this is the first one with such a dark color scheme on it, and it looks really nice. I mean, this has always been a cool figure since it came out with the Dino Rivals. I'll go ahead and get the other versions of Dracorex up here on the table. Of course, we have the very first version, which was Dino Rivals. This orange version, which is cool. It's got the stripes on the back. We also have this one that came with the ATV that's got sort of a bluish, whitish color tone to it too. And then of course we had the Primal Attack version, which was a little bit more green, but still with those stripes. They all are identical figures. I thought that this new one was supposed to have a new tail, but it looks like it's the same version as the rest. But I do really like the hints of like, I think it's red on there. The horns aren't painted though. You can see that they're the same color as the rest of the figure. A couple of these Dracorexes actually had that added detail of having the horns painted, which I think helps. Whereas like this version that came out in between was unpainted. Looks a little cheaper, and this new one has those horns unpainted, but there is paint all the way through the rest of the figure on the tail. Articulation is really fun on this one because it doesn't just have the simple head joint, it also has a full chest and neck, so you can really do some cool battering ram poses. And of course the arms and legs are all posable on these ones as always. Whoa! Just knocked them all over. So this one's always been cool because it does have that really big hinge in the chest, so you can have him stand up and sort of trumpet. Still have him stand up, but shift his head down, or make him go totally horizontal, and he can be like grazing in the grass. So that big giant neck joint right here has always kind of made this figure a little more fun to pose than your average Jurassic World bipedal creature. So that's Dracorex. But again, we got a lot to go through, so we gotta keep moving here. We have a lot of comparisons too, especially with this next figure, Dimorphodon. There is quite a bit of of Dimorphodons already, but I'm really digging this colorway already. I love all the Dino Escape colorways. It seems like every year they kind of embrace a color palette, whether it's for Dino Rivals or Primal Attack. And this year feels very muted and very like natural. Dino Rivals was very vibrant. And then Primal Attack was a little bit more saturated too, but I just like sort of the more natural tones they have here for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and open Dimorphodon out here too, and we'll go ahead and do some cool comparisons of this figure. I mean, the packaging is all kind of the same as, oh, this was the Camp Cretaceous one, so you do have Toro back there. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same across all these figures. They all have the assortments on the back, but here's our friend, the new Dimorphodon. Again, I love the colors on this thing. It's got like really, really simple back stripes and like a little tip on the nose. They look really nice. And then the wings themselves sort of have this really nice gradation that you can see on the camera. It's just very simple and again, very natural. I mean, we got some pretty wild Dimorphodon repaints for Camp Cretaceous, which I'll go ahead and get all those out. We'll start from the front. This was the very first Dimorphodon to come out. This was part of the first wave of Fallen Kingdom toys, which they were called attack packs all the way back then. Then we had this guy that was part of a 2-pack. Same figure. This is a little bit more tan in color. This is part of a 2-pack. Let's see, then we got this one, who was part of a multi-pack at Target. This Dimorphodon actually is a lot like the Amber Collection one. It's very dark gray, and it's got like sort of reddish-orange underwings. So this one kind of reminds me of that new Amber Collection one. So that's the first 3 that came out in 2018. And then coming out in 2019, hopefully I didn't forget any. There's so many, I might have forgotten some, but we had this nice red one that was part of, I think it was part of Dino Rivals. And then we had a couple that were part of Primal Escape. We had this nice Camp Cretaceous one that was red with yellow wings. These are both red, but one of them is way more saturated. And then of course we have the final Camp Cretaceous one that was really, really wild and out there. I mean, look at those wings. Both the Camp Cretaceous Dimorphodons before this had some wild wings. And then we have this newest figure that kind of tones it down a little bit while still having a lot of fun with, you know, some patterns. Again, it's very simple. I love the tail too. Can you see that? It also has paint on the tail. To my knowledge, I don't think any of the other ones have, nope, none of them have paint on the tail. This is the first one. They did this little cool racing stripe. Reminds me of an airplane or something. So I love the way they use the paint budget on this one. Of course, this figure has always had great articulation. You know, right out the gate, we knew that Mattel was doing something cool with these figures because even the Dimorphodon had these nice ball joints that let him, you know, do all kinds of cool poses with his wings, like all kinds of stuff. And then he's got a ball joint on his neck too, so he can look up and down. And then, of course, his jaw opens so he can roar. And then it's got the legs that let him kind of fly behind him, or you can pose them up. You can actually sit like all these other Dimorphodons are doing. And then from there, you can do all kinds of cool poses too from the sitting pose. So lots of different Dimorphodons have come out, but this is the latest one. And dare I say, I think this one might be one of my favorites. I'm actually a huge fan of this Camp Cretaceous one too with the wild wings. It was my previous favorite, but this new one's got some really nice natural colors. So giving it a run for its money. This new Dino Escape Camp Cretaceous one. So very cool. We'll go ahead and put him back and we'll shoo this giant flock of Dimorphodons off the review table and move on to the next wild pack figure, which is the Herrerasaurus. Right here, Herrerasaurus, I hope I'm saying that right. Another figure we've got quite a few versions of, and another figure that I'm really excited about, this latest version. I just love these colors. It feels very like aquatic in some way, or you know, I've always imagined the Herrerasaurus kind of like Baryonyx and stalking the water's edge. So really easy to get out. These attack pack bubbles are barely held on, I swear, to the figure. I love this artwork though. I mean, that's just so cool. Awesome stuff. That's the Dino Escape. Go ahead and toss that aside, just the packaging. And here is Herrerasaurus. Another figure, again, that we've gotten a lot of, but I just love these colors. I love the lighter striping on top. Articulation, this figure also has a kind of interesting neck articulation that some attack pack figures don't have, that really lets it do some cool poses. You know, you can kind of pose him down like this and have him crouching, and of course his jaw opens too. Okay, he's got a nice big bite too. It's always been a cool design, and sort of near and dear to the Jurassic franchise too, as the Herrerasaurus was. I believe it was part of the Isla Nublar map. Also in Jurassic Park the game, which was the inspiration for the first colorway of Herrerasaurus we got right here, the red. This was the first attack pack figure. And then, of course, well, that wasn't the first one we got. What am I saying? The first one we got is the battle damage version from Walmart. But this version has a couple different articulation of the legs. I think that was the only couple differences. And then, of course, the battle damage itself. Otherwise, identical figure. I think the tail on the attack packs is curled up so it fits in the package better. And then we got another attack pack version for, I think it was Dino Escape, and it came back out with Primal Attack. And then we got another battle damage version. And then, of course, we have this new one. So we've gotten quite a few Herrerasaurus at this point, which I understand. It's a carnivore. It's got sharp teeth. That's what they want to put on the shelf, of course. But I just really like this colorway. It's right up there with the Dimorphodon for me. I think these are these sort of more muted tones. Still very colorful, but feels very natural, which is what I like for toy photography and stuff like that. It just feels a little bit less like a toy and a little bit more like a real live animal. So really digging this colorway for both of these figures. And I think for Herrerasaurus, we got a nice little color scheme here now. All different colors, right? But he complements the rest of them nicely. I'd say the red one sticks out a little bit, but you know, I've always liked this figure. I know a lot of people moaned and groaned when they saw this new one coming out, but I love the colorway so much that I'm willing to buy it one more time. Obviously, I'm going to buy it anyway, but awesome figure, new Herrerasaurus. I'm going to rearrange my table a little bit here as we start to make room for more things to unbox. Sorry, I'm using all kinds of platforms and mirrors and fishing line to get this thing looking, get this display looking nice as I unbox things, but I don't want to start tipping stuff over either. So let me just do a little house cleaning here, and we'll get to the final wild pack figure. Come on, Dracorex, stand up. The final wild pack figure, which is all new for 2021 for Dino Escape. That is the Zuniceratops, Triceratops that I'd never heard of until this toy was announced. Very bright colors on this one. Can't wait to open it. It's another one of those figures, you know, that comes out with a new line that just when you see it in packaging, it's like, man, this figure's colorway was made for this packaging artwork. And I totally feel that way about Zuniceratops. It just really pops off the packaging. I feel like Dino Rivals, Primal Attack, you know, every Mattel toy line had a couple new figures that you could tell were just like designed to pop off the packaging. And Zuniceratops is definitely one of those. So all the figures on the back, part of this wave. We'll go ahead and open Zuni up too. It's a kind of more substantial figure than, feels like it's more plastic than some of these other ones. Oh, this is cool. Oh, ball joint on the head. Nice. So nice little Ceratopsian in here. Obviously not as big as Triceratops, but it's got a ball joint on the head, which is totally awesome. They could have just done a hinge, but like, you know, a back and forth hinge, but this lets you do not just the up and down, but the ball joint too. So you can do lots of cool poses, which I think is, you know, a lot of the fun with a Ceratopsian figure. Of course, the tail rotates for what it's worth. Also have arms and legs that rotate, so you can have it lay down and, you know, kick up and do all kinds of stuff. Gotta have that basic articulation for these Mattel figures, but the ball joint on the head is definitely a surprise for me. That it's got such a wide range of motion on the head there. So pretty cool. Really nice. Zuniceratops. I think we have Triceratops, of course. We have Nasutoceratops. What else do we have? What other Ceratopsians do we have? Oh, Sinoceratops. I think that's it. I guess you technically have Pachyrhinosaurus, even though it's called Zuniceratops, but this will be a new Ceratopsian we're adding to the mix. Oh, Styracosaurus too, can't forget about that. But Zuniceratops is definitely the most substantial wild pack figure I can think of. It's got a lot of plastic to it. It's bigger. I mean, it could almost be a Savage Strike if it had some sort of action feature. But pretty substantial. I mean, definitely still on the small side for a Ceratopsian when we put it next to a human figure, but big for a wild pack for sure. So that is the wild pack figure: Zuniceratops, Herrerasaurus, Dimorphodon, and Dracorex. That's the first wave. Wave 2 is coming out. We'll have Alioramus and Baby Brachiosaurus, which I think we're all pretty excited about. But let's go ahead and move on to the next figure. We're going to hit up Ocean Protector Mosasaurus, and you know we're going to have to do a comparison with this one with the other Mosasaurus too, naturally. But this one's pretty cool because if you look at the packaging here, of course, you got the Camp Cretaceous branding, you got the Dino Escape branding, but you also have this nice little call out. This is made from 1 pound of ocean-bound plastic asterisk. What's the asterisk stand for? I want to know. It says, I'm not seeing the asterisk on here. Well, now I'm curious. What does it mean? Ocean-bound plastic. I think it means like plastic they were going to throw away, but they didn't. Let me see if it's on here. It says made from 1 pound. Oh, here's the asterisk. Made from 1 pound of plastic sourced within 50 kilometers of waterways in areas lacking formal waste collection systems. Well, that makes sense. It's technically like they went to where there was just garbage instead of recycling, and they took the plastic that was destined for, I guess a landfill or maybe even a waterway. So that's what they mean by ocean-bound plastic. Kind of gimmicky if you ask me, but I'm sort of cynical too. But I know a lot of people get into that stuff, and maybe that's why you bought this figure. It's kind of ironic because it's probably going to end up in a landfill anyway. But again, that's just me being pessimistic. I'll get back to the toy. Ocean Protector Mosasaurus. A new Mosasaurus. There's one kind of fun new feature besides this being a repaint, and we'll definitely take a look at that once we get it out of the box and build it. This is Camp Cretaceous themed though. Obviously, Mosasaurus was in the first season of Camp Cretaceous, so I guess it warrants Camp Cretaceous packaging with Darius and the logo of 2, and then you got the Netflix call out. But let's go ahead and open this bad boy up because we do have to build it. Notice here on the side too, you have Sammy and Ben and the Camp Cretaceous logo again. Oh, and they got Brooklyn, Yaz, and Kenji over there too. So there you go. Got everybody here. And then we're gonna go ahead and hopefully just pull this figure out, right? Probably not. I'm probably gonna have to mangle this a little bit to get it out. That's how these toys are. Sometimes you have to totally destroy the box just to get it out. But we'll see what we do here. Got a couple pieces of plastic, a couple of those cord ties. I am going to open this box, folks, just to get a better grip on this next cord. Oh, yeah, there's one cord in the middle there that I'm going to have to get out. Oh no, where'd your flippers go? Of course, we have to build this thing. I did like how the old packaging of this had like a little paper shark here. Kind of missed that, but this is obviously the underwater version of Mosasaurus. So what are you going to do? It looks really nice though. I'll go ahead and dump all the pieces out. The fins are under here, and the tail should be under here. Oh yeah, there's the tail coming out right now. More fins, and I think we can put the fins on. I think they only go into certain spots, so you really can't do it wrong. Were my famous last words? I want to make sure I don't do this wrong, so I think this one's going to go in. Well, shoot, now I'm all confused and I'm on camera and I'm like, I don't want to do this wrong. So this one, it looks like a left fin, so it's going to go on there. This one also looks like a left fin, so it's going to go not on there. Now, maybe it'll go into one of these, but let's see where this other big one goes. This is definitely a front fin. So let's get these back fins in. Come on, let's do it. Oh, I see the things they clip into were just upside down. They're like rotated in here, but that's actually pretty easy. And then we of course got to put the tail on the last step. Oh, is that supposed to click in, or is it just sort of push in? Oh no, it's clicked in there. So there is the Ocean Protector Mosasaurus. Let me make way. Let me see if I can get this thing on camera, because it's huge. Even with a wide viewing angle, it's huge. That's the Ocean Protector Mosasaurus. The first thing that really strikes me is how rich and deep the color is on the back. It's got a little bit of a gloss to it. Of course, the colorway on this is very different than the first Mosasaurus we got, which is right here. You can already see how different they are. This one has a much lighter color scheme. The eye color is different. There's like a pattern on the side of this one, like a couple little stripies, whereas this one's just straight solid. They both have a gradation to a lighter underbelly, but this one definitely overall is just like a much deeper color compared to this lighter version. And I do think I still like the original better. However, this new one does have one added bit of articulation. Of course, you have the fins that are all articulated, of course, that you can rotate up and down and left and right and do all kinds of stuff to give this thing some, some articulation and some play value. You also have those huge chomping jaw that swallows, nice painted mouth and painted teeth, all that good stuff. But the tail on this one, as opposed to the other one that was just clicks in place and doesn't move, this one actually rotates back and forth, which credit where credit's due. It did add a little bit more articulation. I think we all would have liked some sort of roar or action feature, like a chomping jaw or something, to give this new version of Mosasaur a little bit more of a reason to own it. But didn't stop me from buying it, right? So that's the fun little addition this thing has, is literally just this tail rotates. And then, of course, you have the all-new paint. But Mosasaur has always been a really popular figure, and I think this one, the colorway and the new articulation definitely, it definitely makes it worth coming out. I don't know, for a lot of collectors, it's a big figure to fit on your shelf. So I don't know if a lot of people will buy it again just because it is so hard to make room for. It's so big. I mean, I don't even know where I'm going to fit it. So, but that's the new Ocean Protector Mosasaurus, made of 1 pound of ocean-bound plastic, and with that little bit of added articulation and that new colorway. So that's that. But let's go ahead and look at the next toy, which is the Scorpios Rex Danger Pack. Huge thanks to my other collecting friend, Chris from Australia. Shipped this out to me a while back before they started to show up here in the States. Here in the States, it's exclusive to Target. You can only find it at Target stores. You can't even order it online anywhere. Target's where you're going to find this one, and that's the only place you're going to find this one. But really cool about this figure is it is different than the Scorpius figure we already have, which of course I'll go into a comparison when I get this thing out of the box. But beautiful, nice open window box. You can see the Kenji figure, the gyrosphere. You see everything you need. You got that awesome Dino escape backdrop framing it all. And then on the back, we can see, Scorpios Rex and Kenji and how the gyrosphere works. You can also see the other exclusive Target, the Raptor 4-pack, which we've already reviewed on the channel. So all that stuff's here. Advertisements for other exclusives, but let's go ahead and get this out. We'll go ahead and get the gyrosphere out first, I think. Hopefully I can do that a little bit more smoothly than I did the Mosasaur. I think I can. Hopefully that's not totally stuck. Oh yeah, this will be easy to get out. So I'll go ahead and pop the gyrosphere out. There it is. Nice little one-rider gyrosphere. I think it opens up. Oh yeah, it opens up like that. You can put a little rider in there. It's a one-rider, but it's got some nice detail. It's got a little clip to put your figure on. Some joysticks. I see the Jurassic symbol down there at the bottom too. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It's right there at the bottom of the seat. And then, yeah, I mean, it just got some nice little sculpt detail. And it is engineered, so once you close it, the seat in there always stays upright no matter what you do. It's weighted, which is smart. And kind of the point of the gyrosphere, but otherwise it's literally just clear plastic with blue in it. You can see there's like some detail here that kind of shows the little dots from you know, the traditional gyrosphere. It's weird. There's like some weird plastic down here. I'm trying to look and see what that is. It's just interesting. So that's the gyrosphere. You know what? I did bring the other gyrospheres to this review to do some comparisons, because I do think that it's a lot like the previously released. Yeah, it is. It's the exact same thing. So this gyrosphere was part of the Gyrosphere Blast truck from Fallen Kingdom. It looks like the plastic is like ever so slightly different. Like maybe that's the chair inside that's different. Been a while since this thing's been open. Probably a couple of years. Yeah, it looks like the blue plastic inside is maybe just a little lighter on this new version, but they're the exact same gyrosphere, exact same mechanics and stuff. So nice little single ride gyrosphere. And then this set, of course, comes with a new one, which is fun. We also have the gyrosphere that came with the Claire set, which is way bigger and fits two characters in it. It opens up like that, and you can fit two characters. Tons of detail on this one. You can see different colored plastic, painted plastic. The only thing I've never liked about this one is that, as cool as it looks, one whole side of it is permanently smashed. I mean, that's fun for a while, but it would be nice to just get like this gyrosphere with no cracks in it, two-seater. It's a little bit nicer, but you get all these together and you do kind of have like your own gyrosphere valley once you start collecting. I did have to show off, of course, this other gyrosphere that I love. It's my favorite one. Got this from the live tour when it was going around, which I hear it's going back around. So if you catch the Jurassic World live tour when it goes back to its tour dates, definitely grab this gyrosphere. It's the best one. It's got tons of detail. It doesn't have a circle it's not a true globe, right? It's got these wheels on it, but I think it makes up for it because it moves really smoothly, and I think it's actually a pullback toy. No, I think it just goes like that. But what's really cool about it is it opens up sort of like the movie too. A little bit. It opens up from the side versus like coming apart completely. Doesn't have any clips for the figures, but best believe the figures do fit inside this gyrosphere. And of course, it's got all those little rollers painted silver. So this is like my favorite gyrosphere toy, even if it's not officially Mattel. Followed closely by this one that is a two-seater, but again, it has those cracks. And then you have these single seaters, like the one that just came with the Scorpius set. But I think, you know, kids and a lot of collectors too, who got into this this hobby a little more recently, never got a chance to get a gyrosphere. So that's what this set is great for, is you can finally start adding that to your collection. I noticed there's something weird going on with the plastic. It's kind of like opaque on top on mine. Then it's kind of like clear and almost looks like glue on the bottom. So I can't tell if that's a defect or what. Doesn't seem like it should be like that, but that's just me being picky. Let's go ahead and get Kenji out. New human figure. We're getting new human figures all the time now. I remember when Mattel wasn't doing them at all, and anything was super exciting, but we've gotten so many new ones already this year, and now we have Kenji. And like the other Camp Cretaceous figures, really well done. Really good likeness for the animated character. I mean, that looks like Kenji full stop with his head and his hair. It looks really nice. Painted lips, painted eyes. And of course, he's got really nice articulation. Like all Mattel Jurassic figures, he's got hips, he's got knees, he's got shoulders, he's got elbows. You know, and he's a kid, so he's a little bit shorter in size than the adult figures. So yeah, his whole everything. See, look. And he even has waist too, so you can really do some cool articulation with these figures, especially with these like wider hip joints they have. And he's got little painted red boat shoes. I mean, this is just Kenji incarnate right here. They did a great job. Of course, this is the third camper figure we've gotten Let me see if I can grab the other ones. We have Darius, who came first. Then we also have Yaz, who came this year as part of the Human Dinosaur Pack. And together we have 3 campers. Finally, we're still missing Brooklyn, Sammy, and Ben. Ben is coming out, and I would think that Sammy and Brooklyn are not far behind. Probably not 2021, but they got to save some figures for later. So it's nice to finally have 3 campers, all looking very accurate to the show. Every one of them. I mean, Darius to Yaz, they both look exactly like the show, and Kenji, of course, looking identical to his show design too. So really nice screen accuracy there. Nice articulation. No other accessories with this Kenji besides that gyrosphere, which he can actually fit in. We'll go ahead and do that on camera. So he can fit right in here. This waist, shut it closed, and then off he goes. See, and he stays seated. No matter how it's spinning, he stays seated and level, which is what you want with the gyrosphere. So easy, quick, cheap design that Mattel did for this that's very functional. That's the gyrosphere and Kenji. Another human figure. The last human figure probably from Mattel this year for Jurassic, but again, I'm guessing there'll be more next year, so don't worry too much. Let's go ahead and get Scorpios Rex out, though. That's what I'm really excited about with this set beyond Kenji, is this other figure for Scorpios. I mentioned earlier, this one's actually different than the Scorpios figure we already have. Oh no, he's attached to the bottom of the package. That's going to take a little bit more effort on my part then. Let's get to it. Yeah, it looks like he just has one tie down here. Easy. Now we should come out. We'll go ahead and put the box aside. We're running out of room to throw these boxes. And there is the Scorpios Rex. Now, before I go any further, if you haven't watched Camp Cretaceous and don't want to get something spoiled for you, I would probably tune out. But if you have watched it, then you know that there are 2 different Scorpios Rexes. So it makes sense that we're getting 2 different figures that aren't even exactly the same. This is the other version of Scorpios, the electronic version. Awesome figure. Seriously, really cool. I have a review for it you can check out on the channel. But this version is basically smaller Scorpios Rex, which if you watch the show, we do eventually find out that there are 2 different Scorpios Rexes that are terrorizing the campers, and this is the smaller one, I guess. But it's got the same exact design. Looks like it's almost the same sculpt, just shrunk down. But the colorway is totally different too. If you look, this one's more blackish grayish blue. This one's more blackish greenish. So they already look totally different. Let's see if I can get this guy to stand. I feel like his one leg is like really loose. Oh, he's got knees that are jointed. Okay, so this guy's got a ton of articulation. This one, you can move his hips, and you can pose his head and do his jaw. But other than that, all of his arms are completely tied to his action feature. But this new one has completely articulated arms. So you have shoulder joints, you have elbow joints. Again, all completely articulated. So you can do whatever pose you want. Then you also have the leg joints like the other one, but you also have knee joints too. So this thing can do all kinds of poses with the knee joints. And then the tail is just on a ball joint. I think on the other one, it's spring loaded, so you can kind of whip with it. But in this one, it's totally a ball joint. Then of course you have the neck that is on a ball joint, and then the mouth opens up. One noticeable difference I can say about this version of Scorpios Rex is that this one has plastic molded teeth, so they're not painted. They're literally pieces of plastic that are put in between the jaw. So there's no paint rub on them, which I always love when Mattel does that, because teeth are the first thing to kind of get marked up. Unfortunately, this new one, his teeth are painted. They're painted pretty well, all things considered, but best believe that there'll be some paint rub after a while. There's even already some paint rub on mine from the packaging, which is a bummer. But that's toys for you. But I think what's really cool about this one is that you can do like all those weird poses that it did in the show, you know, where it's like sticking his arm back, and I've seen a couple people do this pose with the toy, and you can totally do it, which is super fun. You can do this weird sort of like howling thing it does on the show, because you have the articulated knees, you have the arms that you can do whatever you want with. So all kinds of weird stuff you can do with this thing because of all that added articulation they gave it, which is just awesome. I'm trying to get mine to stand up. He won't stand. It's like I don't have the balance right for him. I want to get him to stand up next to the other one. I feel like mine might have a little bit of a loose leg. I'm trying to see if I can get him. Like, why does he keep... There. Put him up like that. Maybe. Is he going to stand? Come on, Scorpius. There you go. Now he's going to stand. So there's the two Scorpios Rexes next to each other. We have the new one with the, you know, more articulation, lighter coloring. I do think I like the electronic version more. It just seems a little bit more menacing, but the articulation on this other one is pretty cool. I'm going to have to play with it a little more off camera and see what other kind of cool poses I can get and see if I can get it to stand up. I mean, this thing was standing up perfectly out of the box, and now for the life of me, I can't get it to stand up. Maybe I'm not doing it. Oh yeah, I need to do like a pose like that. Put its legs up where they need to be. So, all right, problem solved. I had it standing kind of funny. So, I like how the ball joint on the bigger one can go side to side too, because it's a true rotating ball joint, whereas this one's sort of a hinge with a rotator on it. So you can't do all the same head poses, but I think it makes up for it with those different articulations with its arms and legs. So that is the Scorpios Rex Danger Pack with Kenji. For $30, you get Scorpios Rex, gyrosphere, and an all-new Kenji figure. Only at Target, and truly not a bad deal, all things considered. That's pretty awesome that you get all that for $30. So really, really nice. Let's go ahead and move on to our final figure here. That's the Extreme Damage Indominus Rex. Extreme Damage is a new assortment for 2021 that I think caught us all by surprise on Collect Jurassic. Certainly caught me by surprise when the T-Rex popped up on the internet. And then, of course, again, when Indominus Rex popped up on the internet, it was a total surprise. And here it is in hand, another exclusive, this time at Walmart. Seems like Walmart's got like the lockdown on battle damage and now extreme damage. But here it is in the box. Indominus Rex. Right off the bat, you can tell it looks very similar to the Indominus Rex we already got, but something really cool going on with the damage feature, and of course this lovely Camp Cretaceous Dino Escape packaging. Camp Cretaceous, of course, because the first season was all about Indominus Rex. On the back here, you can see the double-sided damage, the chomp and roar. I see him eating a raptor over here. And then you also have how his jaw opens extra wide. And then you also have the other extreme damage SKU, which is the T-Rex, which that render of it looks really cool, honestly. We'll go ahead and get that figure out as well as the other Indominus so we can do some comparisons here. But let's go ahead and free her out of the box, get this asset no longer contained. Got a couple quick plastic ties there, and of course we have this feet that are probably, locked in. These are usually pretty easy to get out. Maybe. I appreciate everyone watching this video, bearing with me while I get these figures out. Okay, there's a plastic tie. Got one out. Got two out. That means the figure itself is free. Let me go ahead and fix her feet. Fix poor Kenji back there who took a dive. And then we can start looking at this awesome Indominus Rex. So here it is, the Extreme Damage Indominus Rex. Very much like the Indominus Rex before it, but we have this awesome battle damage feature, which I'll try to get in the light. Even makes a cool noise. You know what I'm seeing is that, oh yeah, it's painted with like a super glossy red and then like a duller gray for its body. So the gore really shows up, and it does that awesome roar too. And then on the other side, oh cool, it's got a totally different wound pattern. It's like up and then down on the other side. You can see how the slashes are in two different points, whereas this one, they are all in the same direction. It's kind of a fun touch. I like that. They're different. They could have easily just made it symmetrical on both sides. And it's got that light gray wash throughout with like a darker matte gray strip of paint on the top that's sort of gradiated in. You got painted toenails, no painted claw nails, which is like that on the other one. The arms are somewhat articulated. Well, I shouldn't say somewhat. They are. You can move the shoulder. You can move the elbow. It still has this spring action to it, which the previous version of this figure, had spring-loaded arms for the action feature. That's not necessary here. It doesn't have that. It does have this awesome jaw that does a roar with, of course. Yeah, that's spring-loaded. Nice pink glossy tongue. Really cool. So both buttons on the back, you got the roar, and then you also have the Dino damage that changes. This is the other version of Indominus. They're almost exactly the same. They are exactly the same. Besides this one has the arms that are connected to the action feature, whereas this one just does the damage there. This one also can swallow a figure with an LED throat. This one does not have the LED throat. It just has the pink throat. So those are the big differences. Otherwise, it's painted exactly the same. I noticed the plastic on the old one maybe looks a little bit lighter, the base plastic. You can really see it on the neck, maybe, how light that plastic is compared to the new one. But otherwise, there really are identical figures. Besides that extreme damage feature, which I said before, the T-Rex also has that extreme damage. The T-Rex is a little bit smaller because it's the extreme chomping version, but it has the same exact action features. Woo, Kenji got knocked down again. Super fun. Obviously, kind of meant to evoke the final fight of Jurassic World with that damage, which is pretty cool. Would like a big Rex, though, to go up against big Indominus Rex here. But super fun figure. Again, it's only at Walmart. But, I should also note that the neck is articulated now, too. The other version's neck is not articulated at all. It doesn't move at all. Because it's all sort of tied in with his action feature, right? If I remember correctly, yeah. His head moves when you move it up and down. Whereas this new version doesn't have that, so its neck gets to be articulated, which lets you do a couple of interesting poses that you probably couldn't do with the previous version of the figure. It doesn't have a full range of motion, but it's got a little bit of motion to it, so also worth calling out. And the Indominus Rex is always going to be super popular. Such a cool design, cool hybrid, but I'm a big fan of the new Scorpios Rex too. I like it better than Indoraptor. So there's a new hybrid in town, but all really fun toys, all hitting right now. Wild Pack, Mosasaurus, the new Danger Pack, Scorpios Rex Danger Pack, and of course this extreme damage Indominus Rex. All really cool stuff. That took a long time to unbox it all, but great toys. Super happy to add them to my collection. I hope you enjoyed all these little comparisons and sort of a commentary I had in this video. I know it was a little bit of a long one, so thanks for staying till the end here. But I think that's all I have for today. I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.